So Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka a day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 6. Just a quick reminder, the Shloka that we covered yesterday, where the Lord said that whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, again, me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha. So we talked about how if we don't practice to remember the Lord during our life, it's going to be very difficult to remember him at the time of death. And if we have indeed succeeded in remembering the Lord at the time of death, that means we have actually developed love for him, because you tend to remember what you love most or what you value most at the time of death. So if we value Krishna most, then it will be possible for us to think about him. And even if we've valued Krishna most, if we die very suddenly in an accident, unexpectedly, and if we're unable to remember him in that split second, then certainly Krishna will remember us, because that is Krishna's modus operandi. If you love him, he reciprocates with you. We also said that whatever we think of at the time of our death is more important than what others think about us after we die. So what we think about at the time of death is far more important than what others think about us after we die. So today's shloka is shloka number 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam.
Tyajatyante kalevaram.
Ajattante kalevaram.
Tam tam evaiti kaunteya.
Tam tam yevaiti kaunteya.
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yam yam.
Yam yam.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Va api.
Va api.
At all.
At all.
Smaran.
Smaran.
Remembering.
Remembering.
Bhavam.
Bhavam.
Nature.
Nature.
Tyajati.
Tyajati.
Gives up.
Gives up.
Ante.
Ante.
At the end.
At the end.
Kalevaram.
Kalevaram.
This body.
This body.
Tam tam.
Tam tam.
Similar.
Similar.
Eva.
Eva.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Eti.
Eti.
Gets.
Gets.
Kaunteya.
Kaunteya.
O son of Kunti.
O son of Kunti.
Sada.
Sada.
Always.
Always.
Tat.
Tat.
That.
That.
Bhava.
Bhava.
State of being.
State of being.
Bhavitaha.
Bhavitaha.
Remembering.
Remembering.
Translation. Whatever state of being.
Whatever state of being.
One remembers.
One remembers.
When he quits his body.
When he quits his body.
O son of Kunti.
O son of Kunti.
That state he will attain.
That state he will attain.
Without fail.
Without fail.
So here the Lord is stating that whatever you think of at the time of death, that's the destination that you're going to get. So if you think about Krishna at the time of death, you'll go back to Krishna. If you're thinking about a pet dog at the time of death, then you'll become a pet dog next time. If you're thinking about your family member at the time of death, then you'll have to come back to associate with that family member again in your next birth. So like this, whatever it is that we are thinking about when we leave our body, the Lord is saying, without fail, just like without fail, if you remember Krishna, you will go back to Krishna. Without fail, whatever you're thinking about at the time of death, that you will get. So in the previous shloka, the Lord says, have no doubt. If you think about me, you'll come back to me. Here also the Lord is saying, have no doubt. If you don't think about me, whatever you're thinking about, that's exactly what you're going to get. So let's look at some of the comments by Srila Prabhupada and other senior Vaishnavas. So it's clear that all thoughts don't lead us to Krishna. So according to the Skanda Purana, thinking of God at the moment of death is very, very difficult. We said death is a very painful experience. It's equivalent to experiencing the pain of being bitten by 2,000 scorpions simultaneously. So the Prabhupada writes that the process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. He becomes godlike. So we have to actually plan how to die. We have to plan how to die. So Prabhupada says it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. We all know the story or the pastime of Maharaj Bharat, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavan. So Maharaj Bharat had given up his kingdom in order to focus on Krishna consciousness, and he goes off into the forest, leaving the kingdom to his very young son, who was still very much considered a young child in today's terms. And one day he happens to see a pregnant deer give birth in the raging river, and the baby deer is abandoned in the river, and Maharaj Bharat immediately rescues this deer. And then pretty soon he becomes very attached to it. He feeds it, he cuddles it, he showers his love and affection on that little deer. So slowly he moves away from Krishna consciousness to deer consciousness. Therefore, at the time of death, when he was leaving his body, he was only worried about who's going to take care of the deer in this forest, because he had been taking care of this deer. So if we want to travel to some place, how much planning we do ahead of time? What to pack, where to stay, how to get there, and complete detailed itinerary is planned. Similarly, we should plan for our death. Not on the material platform. On the spiritual platform, we have to plan for our death. On the material platform, everything is taken away from us at the time of death. There's nothing we can do. But on the spiritual platform, we can certainly prepare ourselves. So Prabhupada writes that this is a point that we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? And Prabhupada continues, of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. So whatever it is you are habituated to thinking throughout your life, Prabhupada explains that those thoughts are accumulating. And it's only natural, it's those thoughts that will occur to you at the moment that your soul exits the body. So Prabhupada says, if in one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. And again, Prabhupada repeats the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. So we must practice remembering Sri Krishna at every moment of our life. Only then will we develop Krishna consciousness. And in the next verse, which is Sloka 7, Krishna talks about how we can actually remember him all the time. So you could call this the law of last thought. So why is Krishna discussing death so much in this particular chapter? That's because death is staring Arjuna in the face. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there are countless people who are likely to die. And Arjuna has already said he's concerned about his relatives. Nacha shreyo nupashyami hatva swajanamahave nakankshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha. Arjuna said, I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Especially, Arjuna is worried about the death of his elders. So in the second chapter, Arjuna says, Katham bhishmam aham sankhe dronancha madhusudana ishubhif pratiyotsyami pujarha varisudana. Arjuna is protesting, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? And he further goes on to say, Guru Nahaiva, Guru Nahatva Himahanubhavan, Shreyo Bhoktum Bhaikshyamapi Haloke, Hatvarthakamamstu Guru Nihaiva, Bhunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pradigdhan. So Arjuna is saying, it would be better for me to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So what Arjuna has expressed in chapter 1 and chapter 2, death, Krishna is addressing in this chapter, chapter 8. So hence, for the mind to always think of God requires our inner nature to be one with Him. So our conclusion here is that our disposition at death, disposition means what do we think of, determines our destination. So your thoughts determine your destination. That is the essence of this particular shloka.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.